obviously in 2005, Aussie team was 1-0 up after the first test. How does this group hold it together to come through in the series?
I think what you'll find is through that performance in Edgbaston, there's going to be this belief in the team, and it's amazing feel and quite herbal in some ways when a team that has that belief, and you do believe you can win from everywhere. You actually have to do that, but I think you'll find that the players will be so much, they'll be ready for this game, obviously. But this thing, poor belief, it's strong. And I really think that Justin will put that in there, and they'll realise that's the case, that they can win from everywhere and anywhere.
So what about Justin as coach? I mean, a year on almost, I suppose, from when he was appointed. Has he almost exceeded expectations?
Well, it came in a difficult time, obviously, but it was his opportunity to stamp his style. I think, coaching can be the same stuff said, just different ways. That's ultimately the game, and for that to help in that team, the environment as well, I think he's done an excellent job.
Any changes you'd make to the second test? Obviously, stick with the winning side, but Mitchell Starc bowled here quite well in the World Cup. So.
Oh, look, it's not being a selector. I know in Australia we've got about 25 million selectors. And I think that's it. That's the beauty. That the bowling unit bowling so well, it's going to make it hard. You kind of want that in the team as well, because it means everyone's working harder and to get in that side. But one of the most exciting things, I think, as a former fast bowler, is that the depth of fast bowling in Australian cricket right now. There's a lot of great players that weren't able to make this side. So, once again, I think for the future it's going to be really exciting.
And, there's that psychological impact with England that they don't historically play particularly well at Lords. Is that something that the Australian cricket will be talking about at all? Obviously 2005, that sort of side that you played in, it's quite convincing here for you here.
Oh, yeah, I think what happens for Australian teams when they come to Lords, because of the history, it's sort of recognised, I guess. We have symbols in our game, the baggy green. We worked really hard at producing that symbol so that everyone wants that. So when you do get the opportunity to play here at Lords, it's really important, both individually but as a team, that you go out there and do exceptionally well.
Base depth, when can you remember it being this great?
Yeah. Oh, look, there's always been. I think that's one of the things with Australian cricket. There's always been lots of depth, and being one of those players through a period of time. In the 20 years I think that I played first class cricket, and the 10 years that I was able to keep coming back in the Australian side and being involved with the Australian side, there's always been depth. So it's always been a given.
I suppose everyone being fit though.
Yeah, well that's what's exciting. I feel like the front liners, the ones everyone's up there pumping.
Pat Cummins, number one bowler in the world now. You've played with the likes of Glenn McGrath and some of the great Australian quicks. Where do you think he can get to when he finishes his career?
Look, it'd be fantastic for him to stay in that number one spot, I suppose, with the rankings they are. It'd be great for him to become that the natural leader in that side. Obviously, with all the other players in there, there's lots of leadership. But I think with Pat Cummins where he's at now and his body the way it is, it's wonderful to watch.
That 2005 series obviously sparked so much interest in Test cricket.
Yep.
Do you think this could be something similarly epic, or are you thinking of Glenn McGrath sort of 5-zip prediction?
As a player, as a former Australian player, no, we'll go 5-zip. But as a fan or a spectator, absolutely take it to the fifth Test match. Give us the ups and downs throughout a whole Test series, which is what made 2005 so special. Even at the Oval, there was still a chance, I think, on the last day for a draw. And it's almost like your footy team, winning in double extra time. So, as a spectator and for the game, certainly the game in this country, a good tight Test series, an Ashes series, would be great. But as a former player, you always want to win and win quickly.
And what about putting on your CA director hat? How impressed were you with Steve sort of to come back first Test and do that?
Yeah. Oh, look, he's plenty. He's always had this great talent, and it's unique. His batting style is very unique. Often you think about how you'd bowl to someone like him, and even through the press they're talking about that. So it'd be interesting to see what England do as far as tactics or whether they change anything. But yeah, it was really special to see that, and I think the way he played and got Australia back in that first innings, but then certainly in the second, the belief that that's going to instill in the team, it's so infectious, and I do really believe that the Australian team, after that performance, can believe they'll win from everywhere.